putting on weight and actually getting some shape back made me feel like a woman instead of a 12-year-old boy, which is, always a good thing to do. We're all meant to be in this together. We're all meant to do this health journey as a community. You're not meant to do it alone.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 144 of the SuperSetYourLife.com podcast, your weekly dose of entertainment, education, and inspiration to fuel your life inside and beyond the gym. We are celebrating a big win with Jordan Boughner and are currently troubleshooting a couple stubborn health issues that we can't quite nail down yet. That's when we pull the helpful advice of the one and only Mark Ennis from Dublin, Ireland, so that we can put our combined experience together and make sure that Jordan continues to grow into a healthier, happier mama. Jordan and her husband Gabe have been close friends of ours for close to 4 months now. Words can't describe the respect that we have for their family. We've been through some ups and downs together. We've learned a great deal of what it really means to be a mom and a dad. Both she and Gabriel are highly intelligent parents and examples that flat out give good advice whenever we need it most. And the coolest thing about them is they are always learning. They are humble, hard workers, and it's an honor and a joy to work with them both. Jordan's first appearance on our show was episode 124 a couple months ago, with the goal being to gain weight, not to lose weight. A lot of people come to the carnivore diet to lose weight. We have a little bit of a different goal. Today we're going to celebrate 14 pounds gained since January. And that seemed like it was clearly impossible. But now we look back and we're like, wow, it was clearly possible. So may we pray?
Yep.
Right. Dear God, you are the one that makes the impossible possible. As you remind us in Mark 10:27, we praise you for this win and ask for your wisdom today in making the next one happening according to your plans, because your plans are right like 100% of the time. Amen. Coach Mark, got all the nutritional data and details that you need right in front of me, sir. So ask whatever. And Jordan, welcome back. How you been today?
Doing good. Excited to be here and catch up again and definitely celebrate putting on some weight.
Hey, everybody. Before we jump in, one last thing is that I really apologize for the mic levels on this one. Several of you have brought it to my attention. Thank you so much for that. And trust me when I say that our next business investment is going to be in some good software or a dude that knows how to level out our mics better. So we're totally on top of it. But yeah, sorry about this one. Thanks for bearing with us. And let's jump into it.
Didn't think it was possible without carbs, but here we are, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say, and still no carbs were involved in the process.
I fought you on that a little bit, but here we are. I'm a believer, I guess.
Yeah, and you look great. Honestly, the pictures look great.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I feel so much better. I feel healthier. I feel I definitely have way more energy. Mental clarity is much better. Sleeping's better. Definitely doing good, and so happy to have put on the weight again. I didn't think it was possible. That's again, like I mentioned in the last podcast, that had been a struggle my whole life to put on weight. And it turns out my body just really wanted some fat, I think.
Yeah.
So.
And when we met at first, like, your hormones are all over the place. This is the reason why you couldn't gain the weight.
Yeah.
You just starving yourself, and the training was too high. So it was just, there's so much that we had to change. But
yeah,
now,
absolutely.
Looking at your pictures now, like, you look insane. Absolutely insane.
Thank you.
So well done, you.
Thank you so much.
She looks fuller and happier, I would say.
Yep.
Yeah. And a weird comment, but for me, like, gaining the weight and putting on, getting healthier makes me feel more feminine. I know I'm the only girl here, but just had to throw that out there for any gals listening. Like, for me, putting on weight and actually getting some shape back made me feel like a woman instead of a 12-year-old boy, which is, always a good thing.
Yeah, so I was just going to make a valid point, because I'm helping a few women at the moment that are going through this issue at the moment, and I just want to make it clear that it's okay to put on a bit of weight to get results. I think people focus too much on weight loss all the time, and when you focus too much on weight loss, you're destroying your hormones. But when you say to a woman, listen, you need to gain a few pounds, the first thing they're going to be looking at and saying, no way, I don't want to gain any weight, I don't want to gain any. but they don't realize it's actually for their own benefit. They're like,
Yeah.
nothing's ever going to outdo health. Nothing. Like you could look amazing on the outside, but on the inside could be rotten away.
Right.
And
Exactly.
I'm seeing an awful lot of that at the moment. Like
No.
I'm speaking to a few women at the moment, and they don't realize that they look fantastic on the outside, but they want to continue losing weight. And I'm like,
Yeah.
no, we need to stop. Enough's enough. So then what happens is if the scales goes up, they're panicking. And they're looking at it and saying, oh my God, like I've gained 4, 5, 6 pounds in like 2 weeks. What's going on? But that's a good thing. That's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like what's happening is your body's retaining more muscle. So if you're retaining more muscle, your body's going to get a little bit heavier. So I just want to make that clear to anybody that's watching right now. It's very, very important that sometimes gaining weight could be a good thing going forward as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And for me, it was, it wasn't even just seeing the number on the scale go up. It was putting on pants that were suddenly too tight, and putting on a shirt and right around my shoulders, it being tight. And I'm like, yes, I can feel it. Like it's because sometimes you don't see it a lot yourself. I mean, you look at yourself a couple times in the mirror throughout the day, but you don't look at yourself all day. And so you feel it. And those moments of, putting on the pants and them being too tight and my shirts being a little bit fitted, like that's whenever it was sort of a realization to me that, oh, this is working, it's happening.
Yeah, 100%. And when you look at your pictures, like I said from the very, very beginning, don't think this is a bad compliment. Take this as a good compliment. You actually look better now.
100%.
No, I agree. Absolutely.
You look a lot healthier now. When I look at the pictures, as I said, don't take this as a negative thing. But in the pictures before, it was just too much on weight loss, whereas now you're
Yeah,
quite comfortable in your own body now.
absolutely. And I felt that whenever I'd lost all the weight, I felt like I looked sickly,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Getting down to an extreme low level of body fat is unhealthy to begin with, and the longer you're there, the worse it gets. And
Right.
that's basically where you were at, was just bone shredded for so long. And even the bodybuilding coach in me looked at you and I was like, this is not good. 94 pounds, right? That's where you were around Christmas.
Yeah, I think so. Well, I was 94 pounds, but the week before, I was at 91
Oh my
pounds.
gosh.
Yeah.
And
And how,
and
how
and,
did you
and you're
start?
but what's crazy is even at a higher body weight, your skin is so much tighter now too. Around, like you had some loose skin that, like, it looks like it's gone now.
Yeah.
And so in a way, even though you've put on a little bit of body fat, it's, first of all, your body needed it. You look way better with it. And I don't think that your composition has probably changed at all, because you've gained mostly muscle. Biceps are bigger, front deltoids are bigger, especially on your front double bicep pose. And so you've been filling out muscle bellies. I'm so proud of you, for whatever it's worth.
Thank you.
And the weight that you've gained, I'm looking at it and I'm like, it looks like someone that has a leaner body composition in the new photo. That's what I'm seeing. And your body composition is probably like roughly the same, because even though the fat and protein and muscle mass have both gone up, they've gone up in the same proportion. So whatever the percentage is, it's still the same, but it looks better on you. That's what I'm trying to say.
Thank you. I feel that too.
You know.
Mark, I'm sorry. I think you were about to ask something.
No, I was just going to say to you, like, what started it in the first place? Like, what caused you to go down the route of like getting really, really thin? Like,
Yeah. Yeah. So
what caused it?
for the past, from like August to January, the kids and I both had just been really sick. I think I got COVID this summer. I'm not sure. I'm not one to like rush to get tested. But I think I got it.
That's how we
And
do it over here in the States, bro. Sorry.
I know. I mean, I'm the type I have little kids, so if we're sick, we just camp out at home anyway. So, I'm a stickler for that as is. Anyways, yeah, I got really sick in August. I got sick again, in October, and we were also moving at the same time, and it was super stressful. And then something, I don't know, we still can't quite figure it out. I got sick again in January, and just it wiped me off my feet for like 3 weeks. Um, and yeah, I had to go on antibiotics, which just totally screw with me. I know I think I told Colt, I'm like, I'm never doing those again. I'm just kind of done. Like, just let me die next time. Like, I'm kidding, man. Don't let me die. But yeah, so I honestly, it's just sick, just being really, really sick, going through just a lot of stress. Some really big life events happened in the past year and a half. And for me, when I get stressed out, I don't eat. I know a lot of people the other way. When they're stressed, they use food to, they'll overeat. For me, I lose my appetite immediately. And then I'll drink more. I was in the place where I would drink more caffeine and then just not eat. And it just, I mean, it gets you down to 91 pounds and gets you sick over and over again. So
Yeah.
that's kind of where I was at in January.
Yeah, and yeah, it's very, it's as I said, it's just a very sad when people realize that when they get sick and they just feel like they just constantly need to just keep on losing weight. And like I always find that when you talk to these people, they'll always say to you, "But I'm drinking a lot of caffeine," but they don't realize that when you drink a lot of caffeine, it literally fills you up. So you're not
Yes.
hungry at all. So you're missing out on like really good food.
Yeah.
And you're the one that's actually suffering, because the more caffeine you put into your body, then the more ill you get. So yeah, I completely understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not to digress at all, but this is totally a topic that's relevant to all of us. Can we talk about caffeine for a second? How are you doing, Jordan? You hanging in there still?
I feel the best I've felt my whole life.
Me too.
I feel so good. And I was diagnosed with ADHD as a kid. And I was not hyper though. I think that they just felt like I couldn't pay attention. So they put me on like Ritalin and all that good stuff. And I think I mentioned this also in the last podcast. So I switched to, when I became adult, I went off of the medicine and switched to caffeine. And so I've been on either, amphetamines or caffeine almost my whole life. And so going off caffeine to me felt like part of letting go of my identity, which is so ridiculous that I even felt that way. But I think I'm like 3 weeks into no caffeine at all, and I feel the best I've ever felt.
Amazing, good stuff.
Yeah.
I'm proud of
I
you.
know my husband was laughing at me, Gabe, because he was like, I feel like you're actually more productive without the caffeine than what you were with the caffeine. And like, it's probably just because I'm staying on task. But yes.
Yeah.
What about you? What
Oh,
about you guys?
so Mark's been off of caffeine for quite some time.
Yeah, I haven't had caffeine in about 10 years now.
Wow, that's awesome.
You're an inspiration to all of us, mate.
I was like everybody else. I used to take a lot of coffee. I was only saying this to Colt last night. I used to drink an awful lot of caffeine, but it was affecting me so badly that I was getting really aggressive, like really, really aggressive. And I used to play rugby at a really, really good level. And our coach used to give us a lot of caffeine before we play a game. And it used to just get us hyper, like really, really hyper. So if we got into a fight or anything like that, we wouldn't feel the pain at all. Like it took about two or 3 days. Honestly, we'd be so. And then the effects after the game. Like we used to go to the pub, and I'm not even joking. We used to go into pubs and start fights for no reason. That's how bad it was.
Wow. And that was similar for me too. It got to the point where it was definitely causing a lot of anxiety for me. Um, and it wasn't necessarily like I felt anxious, that like heavy chest feeling and just that like agitation type feeling. Like as soon as the caffeine would kick in, and then also whenever I was coming off of it at the end of the day, it would just kind of make me feel anxious and agitated. And you don't want to feel that way.
Yeah.
No, it's not a good feeling. It's not a good feeling.
How have your muscle pumps been during your workouts since cutting caffeine?
I have been able to up my weights. I don't know if that answers your question. Um,
Your muscle bellies feel fuller in your workouts now?
yes. Yeah.
I was gonna say that's the biggest thing that I've noticed, and I want you to be the first person to hear this. Actually, the second person, because I totally told Taylor right before this. You, Jordan, have inspired me to finally just pull the plug and cut caffeine altogether. So today, I'm done. This is my this. Yes,
Wow, that's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. Yes,
Good.
yesterday was the first. Now I'm on recording saying it, and so
Oh,
uh,
I'm so happy to hear that. That's awesome.
no more
That's
caffeine
good.
for this. Yeah, I just feel better and better without it, and
Yeah.
excuse me. I definitely feel worse without it because anytime you lower the dosage, it like sucks for the next couple of days. Once you get used to it, your body
Yeah.
adjusts to it. Then you start feeling better, and I'm just like, you know what? Let's just speed up this whole process and be done with the nonsense and get back into the cool kids club.
I don't know if you've found this too, Mark and Colt, but one thing that I noticed about myself, and I think I texted you about this, Colt, but whenever I finally got over the like feeling bad after going off caffeine and I started to feel good, I felt like I was way more in tune with what was going on in my body.
Mhm.
That I realized, oh, I'm tired right now, but that's okay. Or oh, I have a lot of energy right now. This is wonderful. Like just all sorts of things. I felt like my intuition with what was going on with my body just totally amped up, where I felt like caffeine sort of disguised that for most of the day at least, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally understand that because I know when I was taking caffeine, it was definitely affecting my sleep. I know
Yes.
some nights I would only get about 2 or 3 hours sleep and I'd be wide awake. Whereas now, since I've been off the caffeine, I get a good deep sleep. I don't need anything to go to bed. But I know when I used to have a lot of caffeine, I used to struggle really badly getting sleep. I'd wake up in the middle of the night. I'd probably have a few panic attacks. I'd probably have a few bad nightmares.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what's going on here? Like, and then I'd wake up the next morning, I'd have the shakes. I was like, this can't be normal. And there used to be days I used to go to bed and my heart rate would be pumping like really, really quick. And I'd be like, what's going on here? Like, this is just not normal. So once I start getting really, really, really aggressive, and I was like really, really aggressive, I said, right, enough is enough. Enough is enough. And it was getting to the stage where I was taking it home with me. So I was giving it to my missus. I was giving it to the child. I was like, oh, here, like, if I'm doing this, there's something wrong with me because I've never been like that in my life. I've never been like that in my life. So I said, right, enough is enough. And like Colt, I went cold turkey on it. It took me about a week or two. I had the shakes. I had a few headaches, but I got over it. I got over it because I knew that on the other side of that, I would come out a lot better.
Oh, that's so good. That's such
So I
a
think it's very important. I think it's very, very important. And I think it's also important that if people are on caffeine, try and get them off as quick as possible. Because like caffeine leads to fizzy drinks. And it's like, when you look at the industry now, especially with obesity, like if people are not drinking coffee, they're drinking energy drinks. They're going after Red Bull. They're going after Lucozade. They're going after all these fizzy drinks. So they're replacing one bad habit with another
yeah.
bad habit.
Yeah,
That,
and that's what I did at first because I first got rid of the coffee and then I switched to like those like Zevias that have caffeine in them.
Mhm.
And it was still like causing me the same issues. So I'm like, okay, well, it's not the coffee. It's got to be the caffeine, you know? And so, because at first I thought it was just the coffee. I was convinced it was just the coffee, but tea does it, and caffeinated tea and caffeinated beverages of all sorts. It's just the caffeine, you know?
that's all there is. Yeah, that's all there
Yeah.
is.
It's really hard to get a good clean source of caffeine to begin with because yeah,
Yeah.
it's debatable. Like even if it's just straight up black coffee, it's coffee has oxalates in it, right, Mark? I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. So there's
Definitely.
okay, yeah, that's what I thought. So there's anti-nutrients in the coffee. I mean, energy drinks don't even get me started, right? Most pre-workouts. I mean, I sell pre-workouts. I can sell people stuff that has caffeine in it. If you want caffeine, great, buy a pre-workout. But I don't recommend that you do. Get the non-stimulant that gives you the pump and not the caffeine. You get a better pump because you don't have caffeine.
Yeah.
Because the caffeine restricts your blood flow.
Yeah, and I've seen an awful lot of people when they're in the gym. You can see who are the aggressive ones, and you can see who the people that are the normal ones. Because when you see the aggressive ones, they talk to you in a manner that, and I can just see because I used to do it myself. Like you're sitting on a machine, and somebody walk over to you and intimidate you. say, listen, are you finished there? And it's not like, excuse me, sir, have you got many sets to go? It's like they go over and they stamp their authority. They're like, look at me, like I'm the big guy, I'm the big miss. And you can see they're just hooked on caffeine. They're hooked on caffeine, and you can hear all the swear words out. And it's not a good life to have. It really isn't.
Yeah.
I just see a difference in a person's look. When they're on caffeine, they're just very, very aggressive. They're not nice people to talk to at all. It's always aggressive, and they never actually listen to what you're saying. And most of that comes out of their mouths is kind of all negative. It's always negative. Like they'll never have able to have a conversation with you like what we're having. It would be like really, really, really strict. Like they'd probably be jumping in on the conversation here and there when we're talking. And that's how bad it is. So I just think in general that now don't get me wrong, there are some people that can tolerate it and they're absolutely fine. I was just one of those unfortunate people that I couldn't. So I had to get off it as soon as possible.
Yeah, same.
I know I'm not the only one.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a drug at the end of the day.
Exactly. It makes you focused, but like anxiously and unhealthily focused, like you're drugged. That's what I feel like when I consume any caffeinated product. You go for a run outside and it's freezing cold. Okay, that wakes you up 10 times better, and now you just have a sense of peace and overall well-being. That's a great way to start the day. But waking up first and just taking a drug, bad idea.
And I think that was my biggest thing, is that the caffeine it made me overly productive, and it to the point where it wore me down, and I have been physically active my whole life, and something that I haven't taken advantage of is just good rest, and I know in the last podcast Mark had mentioned the idea of making sure you get the most out of your rest days and having the mindset that you're preparing your mind and your body for the next day when you're working out. And Mark, I thought about that for like weeks, just like it stirred in my mind because it was such a good idea and a good concept of using rest to help you whenever you're trying to get stronger. And that just applies to so many aspects of life too. And I feel like for me, caffeine pushed me every day, and my body just never had a chance to rest. And it literally wore me out.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point. I think if you're relying on a supplement to get you through your day or to get you through your work, there's an issue there. There's a problem there.
Right.
Yeah. Because if you haven't done all the basics the day before, like sleep, you fed your body the right food, you shouldn't need anything at all the next day. Nothing. Because you've done all the homework. Everything is done. So all you have to do is just get up the next morning, switch your mindset on, make sure you're well hydrated, and that's all you need. That's all you need. You don't need any sugary drinks. You don't need any pre-workouts. You don't need any caffeine. Just get up, be excited, go to bed a little bit earlier, feel really, really good about yourself. And once you get into that habit of going to bed at a certain time, waking up at a certain time, it just becomes your life.
Yeah.
I mean, if you put too much stress on yourself and add more caffeine to that, then those workouts that you're doing now, they won't be enjoyable anymore.
Yeah.
You'll be waking up in the morning and you're like, I don't really want to go to the gym today. I'm not feeling it today. And it's not because you're not feeling it. It's just because you never looked after yourself in the first place. You're relying on the bad stuff instead of introducing the good stuff into your life.
Right. Exactly.
It's just a Band-Aid, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
Yeah. Also, one more perspective too is all of us are kind of like anxious, just like go-getter kind of people to begin with. So I feel like most people can tolerate caffeine a lot easier than all of us can. But but us three in particular, it's like, yeah, no, the last thing I need is more motivation to go get stuff done. It's like,
right.
It's more, the goal for all of us is, okay, we have a zillion things that we're already doing. Let's just focus on one thing at a time and relax for a little bit and not have to amp up the energy more because we're already wired, just like in general.
Exactly. I will say I have started to have cold showers, and that will wake you up.
All right, good job. I just had one.
Nice, yeah. And it really does. Like it works. I'm like, wow, this is
Yeah.
really, difficult at first, but it works.
Oh my gosh, I was listening to Caleb radio and what's her name? Lori was she goes, there's this thing called this hour long, like this hour shower, power shower or something, but it's like a thing and it's an hour long shower and it's got to be ice cold for this long and warm for this long and you do this and that in it. And then she was like, yeah, no, I heard about this thing. And I was like, if you do that, I know one thing about you, you do not have kids.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to worry about a water bill.
Right. It doesn't have to be that fast either. But yeah, I mean, for me, it's actually lately I've been doing a 10-minute ice bath in the morning because my foot, I'm icing it right now. It's got plantar fasciitis and a stress fracture. So it's actually been helping that recover quicker through my workouts, and I'm getting better pumps later in the day because Mark and I were just talking about how when you do cold exposure in the morning, I don't know exactly scientifically why it works, but your body will be better set up to have more blood flow later in the day for things like a workout.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I'm gonna have to try that.
Mm-hmm. Right, all right. So on your so for macros right now, I just don't think that anything really needs to change. I mean, if everything's working great the way it is, I think that we should kind of forget that macros exist at this point. Use your meal plan as a guideline, but just follow your body and follow your intuition. Like, and you're so in tune, especially with the way that you're just describing right now. You know your body better than a computer or a piece of paper does at this point. I think that the meal plan that you have now, stick to those foods. Sorry about the ground beef, by the way. I felt so bad this morning. You were like, I don't like ground beef, and I'm like, yeah, that's why I took it out and put pulled pork in instead, because they're the same macros. And I was like, oh crap. No, I sent her the meal plan, but it still says ground beef on it. I felt like such a jerk. I don't think you realize.
No, don't worry about it.
But I think just use those as a ballpark, and weigh it out if you feel like it. But I think that you should continue to listen to what your body's telling you in terms of when to eat and when to not eat. As long as you're keeping all of your as long as you're keeping plants out of the equation, you can minimize plants at all costs. Coffee too, that might have been a culprit before, but that's going to give your body the signal to go, okay, today's the day to eat. Okay, today's the day to fast.
Yeah. Can I ask a question? I don't know if you guys have felt this way from switching to carnivore, but I feel like so when I was eating carbs, I would wake up, I would have like hunger pains, right? I don't feel like I get as much hunger pains switching to carnivore, but I have other symptoms like I just start feeling tired and I'm like, okay, or like start feeling like mentally drained, and then I realize I need to eat something. So it's almost like my body is communicating differently that I need to eat than what it did prior when I was eating carbs. Does that make sense?
Mark, does that make sense to you or not? Is that like what we talk about every day?
Yeah, everything like that. Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
That works.
Completely normal. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So I'm not crazy.
Oh no, that's brilliant. That's exactly how you're supposed to do the carnivore diet. And then the more that you minimize carbs, but for me it's been especially vegetables. Both of those, I'm never in tune with my satiety signals. But if my diet's just strictly right now, Mark and I are both just 100%, and Gabe too is for you not a good idea, but for us it's 100% beef. I've even gone so far as to cut out butter. I'm feeling better without it. Tallow tastes better than butter. Say that 10 times fast. Lately anyway. But when your body knows what to expect, and you've eliminated basically everything that it doesn't need and just kind of clean house, then it's really easy to identify if you're actually hungry or not. Pizza.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like pizza, does that sound good? Yeah, of course. Pizza always sounds good. But if meat sounds good, then you know for sure if you're actually hungry and if you really need that fuel or not. Because it's the best fuel.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think with the veggies thing, people need to realize that when you look at veggies nowadays, they're nowhere near what they used to look like, say, 100,000 years ago. Like if you looked at like a vegetable, like at that time, you wouldn't have went near it. But now it's all colored with, and then when you have to realize is when you actually eat the veg, it turns into a sugar into your body. So the more you chew on it and then you digest it, it's going to turn into sugar. So it's going to increase your glucose, and that's when you're going to be craving more sugar. So this is the reason why people need to remove them as quick as possible if they can, because I've seen an awful lot in the last 3 or 4 weeks with clients that I've given them the option of leaving the veggies in, but everything else is carnivore. Everything else is perfect. And they're coming back to me and they're saying to me, I still have sweet tooth. Bingo. Bingo, I know exactly what it is. So it's daily. You're learning more as you go along, because you're understanding the clients on a regular basis. But I've seen an awful lot of it, and the data that I have now proves that when you eat a lot of vegetables, it does turn to sugar.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. So right now, so her first meal is I changed it on my sheet. Literally, it's all in all capital letters, and it says pulled pork, not beef. Because she just ground beef doesn't agree with her. That's neither here nor there. But okay, and then butter and tallow with that, and then second meal is eggs and sour cream. That's where I screwed it because you're allergic to eggs, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so we need it.
Yeah. So I don't mind doing like ground beef once a day. That's totally fine. It's just when I eat a lot of it, it makes the gag reflex come up. So TMI, sorry guys. But I don't mind it once a day. So if we can do, maybe bacon and ground beef at that point instead of the butter and eggs, or whatever you think is best.
Yeah, you're saying that bacon was a good idea, and so like a bacon burger would be a fun way to replace that second meal.
Perfect. Sounds
Okay.
good.
I'll make a note to do that. And then after that, it's I just have ghee butter and MCT oil. So I think you should put that butter. You should put that butter on the burger because
Okay.
yeah, I put decaf coffee there just assuming that I don't know what I was thinking. That was a bad idea.
That's okay.
We'll take decaf coffee after, especially after our last conversation. All right, and then pulled pork again, and then I'm thinking four meals a day is probably kind of what she needs to be on, huh, pal? Like 2 or 3 isn't good enough.
Yeah. Are you getting hungry at the moment, Jordan? Or are you okay?
I do get hungry. Yeah.
So I would add in the fourth meal. And what time of the day are you getting hungry?
So it's hard because I've actually been waking up hungry, which I didn't for a while. So the past like week or so, I would say I've been waking up hungry, which is hard because I don't typically eat till like 10.
Okay, so
Um,
then what time do you stop eating then before you go to bed?
I probably stop eating around, like I'm probably completely finished between like 6:37.
And then you go to bed at what time?
We go to bed around like 8:39.
Okay, so that's not too bad, I suppose. But I
No.
would say that's still a long gap if you're going from like 9:30, 10 o'clock. That's still 12 hours without food. So I would be saying I don't want you eating too close to bed. I think your last meal is fine. I would just add a little bit more food into say 1 or 2 of the meals. So
Okay.
it could be the first meal. Now, what I would do actually is because you're coming off a longer fast, I wouldn't have that big meal straight after a big long fast. I'd actually have a smaller meal.
Okay.
You want it because at the moment because you're fasting, you haven't eaten anything. So if you put a lot of food in there, that's gonna cause an awful lot of stress in your gut.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hey bro, her first meal is 35 grams of protein and 55 grams of fat.
Yeah, how does that feel? Does that feel okay?
Yeah. This feels great.
Okay. Yeah, so I would say leave that in. Then the next meal is then how much?
Oh, the next one is TBD, but looks like it's going to be 25 grams of protein. That's what we have to make up to get to 130, which is which is a little bit more than what she weighs right now. And so it's definitely plenty of protein, and then we need to get from 175 to 210 grams of fat. So yeah, second meal is going to be kind of the same ratios, but just a little bit smaller.
Okay, and then what's the gap then from the second meal to the last meal, time-wise?
So I typically eat around like 1:32, that big meal. It's typical. So I go from like 10:30-ish, depending on how quickly or, I have kids, so sometimes, stuff
Hey
happens.
everyone, Coach Taylor Milton here. Welcome to Skullbellz TV, the official YouTube channel of supersetyourlife.com, where you're going to discover a weekly upload of quick and easy to follow workout tutorials featuring Coach Colt, myself, or one of our athletes to keep your workouts fun, practical, and effective. Our family's latest keto carnivore recipes that fuel Colt's competitions and keep myself and our kiddos strong and healthy. Video uploads of the supersetyourlife.com podcast, now over 100 episodes, your weekly dose of entertainment, education, and inspiration to fuel your life inside and beyond the gym, and much more. Last thing before we get into the video, we're asking a big favor from you. This has been working beautifully, so if you would please think of someone you care about that would benefit from this video, go ahead and smash that like button, click the share button, and text this video to them. That would mean the world to us. And while you're at it, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss more exciting content from Skullbellz TV, because our team has lots of meat and lots of muscle coming your way, and I promise you won't want to miss it. When you hit the subscribe button, you'll see a bell icon pop up. You want to click that too so you're notified every time we release a new video. Thank you so much for the support. It means the world to us. Every like, share, and subscription helps our channel grow and supports our family's hard work. So thank you so much for doing your part too. That's all we ask. God bless you, and please enjoy this video.
She's on 3 meals at the moment.
She's on she's been on 2 or 3 meals, but after talking to you and Jonathan, I'm like, no, she needs to be on she definitely needs to be on more. She needs to be giving protein more consistently throughout the entire day.
Yeah, I would definitely add in a 4th meal. So I'll see what the times are. I don't know whether. So you see, what you could do is you could actually add more food into one of the meals. But I would rather you have more feedings throughout the day. Personally.
Okay, sounds good.
Just to give the gut a bit of time to eat the food. I'm not a big fan of 2 meals or 1 meal a day. I'm only a big fan of this when if you're in a competition phase or anything like that. But I think at the moment, because you're looking after health, I think just eating 4 times a day on a regular basis is completely fine.
So kind of like maybe every 2.5 hours type.
3 hours is fine. And then you're sticking to fasting at the moment, aren't you?
I'm sorry?
Fasting at the moment.
Training fasted? Is that what you're asking?
No, just fasting in general. Are you fasting in general in the morning time? Do you wake? Oh, you're not. Okay, so you're eating just whenever you want.
Yeah. She's not like nailed down to a specific eating window or anything.
Okay, yeah, okay, yeah. So let's say if you're waking up at, let's say, 8 o'clock, just eat every 3 hours.
Okay.
Everything you need to do. But I'd say the first meal, stick to your macros the way it is. And then Colt will just add in an extra meal and see how you get on there. You should be okay. And then I'd say once you're getting, because if you're getting stronger in the gym on a week-to-week basis or a month-to-month basis, then eventually your body will need more food.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
I think that's what's happening at the moment, because you're probably doing well in the gym. You're getting more muscle pumps in the gym. Your bellies are getting bigger. So if that's the case, well, your body's telling you, listen, you need to feed me more. If you want me to progress even more, you need to feed me more.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's true.
Because what's going to happen is if you stay on the same altitude that you're on now and you're training really, really hard, your body's not going to change.
Right.
So you're pretty much wasting your time.
Yeah. So just to reiterate, Jordan, everything is on your meal plan that you're going to receive is totally subject to change based on how you're feeling. If you feel like eating, great, knock out that meal. If you're just like, you know what, I think my body needs a break. I've been packing away protein for a good week now. I mean, that might be a signal to do a fast that day. We're dealing with health as being a priority way over physique right now, and so this does not apply to Carly, right? She's shredded right now, 2 weeks out from her 3rd show, and I'm trying to get her more shredded, right? but in this case, follow what your gut is telling you for sure. That's one thing that I've noticed from you and from everybody lately, especially lady clients, is that women just seem to be very, very in tune with their own bodies on a level that is, I don't know, kind of hard for guys. Tend to over intellectualize things and make things more complicated than they are, just generally speaking. But I've learned a lot about being intuitive with my own body from you, Linnell, Wendy, everybody else. Cool. So I think we've got the meal plan nailed down. You're due for a new workout plan here pretty quick. So let's see, we're doing 2 leg days. We're doing Mark, we've been doing legs heavy, which is kind of my style of workout, on which is more for mass, and that is on her first day, and then she has chest and arms after that. Every workout is 23 working sets. Then she has active recovery on Wednesday, and then she hits legs again on Thursday, back and shoulders on Friday. Cardio is like basically nothing, obviously. And then she has a couple of days off and back at it again on Monday.
Good stuff. And hey, how are you getting on with that training at the moment, Jordan?
I'm doing really great with it. It's going really well. Yeah. I actually we purchased, forgive me if I'm still getting used to all my lingo. So like a cable machine. And I'm doing more cable workouts than I am dumbbell. And I feel like that's helped me a lot with just not pulling muscles, if that makes sense. It's helped me with my form, I guess you would say, whenever I'm doing my exercises.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I've actually been able to add more weight as well.
Yeah, so when they started with this, Mark, they only had like free weights, and they invested in some fancy cable stuff in the meantime. So Taylor's got her doing like all kind of glute exercises and stuff with the attachments around the heel. And
yeah.
Okay, perfect. So all your workouts are at home.
Yes.
Good stuff. Yes.
Cool. All right. So I guess that just means that we need to look at your physique and then go, okay, this muscle, let's hit these hard. This one's, let's hit these harder. Do you have any muscles that you want bigger or smaller, or just let Dr. Colt look at it and go, okay, this is what your next phase is. Here we go.
I don't know. I'm still happy to focus on legs and glutes. Like that's, pretty big for me. I don't know. I think I'm just open to your expertise here.
I'll just make it fun and challenging, and just make it a little more challenging than the last one, but nothing too crazy.
Okay, perfect. I will say I have had to so I had talked to you about with some of like the neck pain that I've been having. I've really had to incorporate stretching before and after. So I don't know how that affects actual muscle growth, but I've just had to do some more stretching, I guess. I don't know if that's normal whenever you start, increasing your workouts, or
yeah, your body's just growing and is trying to adapt to the new muscle mass and the new strength that you're developing right now. And so with that just comes stiffness.
Okay.
That, and then I don't have it handy. Usually it's like right next to me. It's in the other room, but my Theragun, that's been one of the best investments that we've ever made. And I got my son addicted to it too. Now every time he sees me using it, he's like, first Daddy, then James. I'm like, then I give it to him. But yeah, that thing has really helps my muscle stiffness and recovery from workout to workout.
Yeah. I think a lot of my problems too is I have not been able to drink electrolyte. My electrolytes are off, which I think I might have mentioned. Forgive me if I haven't. But I did notice that I have adverse reactions to stevia. And so I had to stop drinking a few of the electrolyte like packets that we were using. And I have not been able to get any of the salts yet. And so I feel like I'm a little dehydrated, and I'm wondering too if that's contributing to some like muscle pains and stiffness also. I don't know if those are related or not, but yeah.
Oh yeah, and if you're getting any cramps, that could be a sign of dehydration. So I would say you don't need to drink a lot of water, but just make sure, especially at meal times, at least have a pint of water. Make sure you're drinking probably I don't know, maybe probably a 1 liter bottle of water during your session if you're training hard enough. But you don't need to go overload. You don't need to overload the
Yeah.
body with a lot of
Well, my problem too is that we live in Florida, so we're in the heat and the sun a lot. And so that also drains you of, you know, hydration. And so even that alone, when we first moved here, that was something we all realized, like, oh, you have to drink more water down here. And so I do feel a touch dehydrated. I did look at, I think it was the Relight had an unflavored electrolyte drink that did not have the stevia or the coconut water in it, but they're out of stock, so I can't get that yet. But I think that would help for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. Well, cool. I think that's a wrap on the workouts then. Jordan, you had some questions for me that, to be completely honest, you know me, you know that your coach is a moron. But TMJ, I'm unfamiliar with what TMJ is.
That's okay. I guess that's what's going on. So I sort of had this issue that started in January when I got sick. And I get this like I don't know if you can see, but I get it's not a sore throat. So my throat doesn't hurt like when you swallow, but I get like muscle cramps and spasms right here in my neck. And then just like right back here, and there's like this spot. And so I went to the ENT on Friday and he says I'm having like jaw issues. It's all connected to my jaw. Um, and of course, you can, grind your teeth at night, or if you're, in a stressful situation, you clench your jaw. And, for me, I don't know exactly what it was. I know that I chewed a ton of ice when I was pregnant with my last kid. I know that I had crazy orthodontic type stuff going on where they had to like break my palate back in the day. That's kind of what it is. So it's just you can get like arthritis in your jaw, or you can get inflammation really bad. Um, and it's the TMJ is like an acronym for the name of that muscle right there,
Okay,
which I don't remember off the top of my head. Sorry.
gotcha.
But yeah, so that's kind of what I'm dealing with, which sucks because it does affect my workouts. So some mornings I'll wake up and I have like shooting pain in the back of my neck and sometimes in the front of my neck. And it has helped a lot to stretch, like I said, before my workouts. Um, and the cold showers have also helped quite a bit. And then icing it has helped quite a bit. Um, but unfortunately, the doctor was like, you need to eat softer foods too, just for a little while, at least to give your jaw a break. And then resting my voice, because when you're talking a lot, and I homeschool 3 kiddos, so I talk all day long. So basically, he was telling me that I need to be quiet.
I'm sorry. We'll do sign language the rest of the podcast then.
Yeah, just go like this. But yeah, that's sort of so that's why I had to bring up. I wouldn't have brought it up if it didn't affect anything. It just so happens to affect my diet again because I have to eat softer meat, whereas I was eating steak and pork belly, and it was just a little bit extra chewy. And I have noticed since hearing that that's what was going on. I had steak like 2 days later, and then the next day I woke up and like the muscle pain was like horrendous. So yeah.
Wow. Quick side note. How's your inflammation been since cutting pork belly? I'm curious. We've had a couple other cases of people that have had just some histamine responses to it because it's not quite as cured as like bacon is.
I don't know if it's because of that, which it could be, or because it was extra like chewy for me. But I have the inflammation has gone down since cutting it out,
Okay.
like in those areas at least.
So it may have had something to do with it.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
So with your jaw too. One more thing that So my dentist has been telling me that my teeth enamel has been kind of an issue because I grind my teeth a lot at night. I'm not sure if it's something that you do, or if you're like during your workouts, if you clench like when you do heavy lifts and whatnot, that might be too.
I'm glad you said that about working out. I do. He did tell me that it looks like I do grind at night.
Okay.
So I am going to be getting like one of those like night guards, which will look super silly, but it's okay. So I'll get one of those.
I have one of those too for that reason.
Does it help? Like you're with the grinding? Does it actually work, or is it kind of?
I said I have one. I said I didn't. I didn't say I use it. I just haven't got around to it yet. Because
Oh my gosh.
I don't know. I just forget about it. I know I need it. I totally bought it.
Yeah.
I just never never got around to it.
Yeah. I'm like the worst. I always feel like doctors are trying to like sell me into something. So I feel bad because I've had a dentist for years tell me, "Oh, it looks like you grind your teeth." And I'm like, "Oh, sure. Let me, whatever. I'm not going to do it." Now here I am getting like muscle pains and everything from it. So
Yeah.
definitely should have listened.
One more thing on that is Redmond's toothpaste. I'm not sure what toothpaste you use, but Redmond Real Salt has their own toothpaste. And,
Oh, okay.
yeah, we don't sell it. We want to, so we like, I don't know, maybe a while from now, like next PO, we'll get it. But you can just grab it off of Amazon or whatever. And I use the one with I use the black one because it has silver in it, and charcoal. It actually has charcoal, so it's great for whitening. But I've been
Right.
using it and actually just kind of leaving it on my teeth and not even really rinsing it out 100% of the way. Tastes really good, and it's really been helping to rebuild my enamel on my teeth.
Oh, okay. Well, I will definitely check that out. We've been looking for a cleaner toothpaste, so that's perfect.
There you go. That's the answer to your prayer.
But I'm glad you mentioned the clenching during workouts because I probably do. I don't think it's just something you don't think about. And but I probably do, come to think of it. So I'll stop and think about that tomorrow.
Well, I think that's a wrap,
Yeah,
guys.
I think that was it for me. You guys have been so helpful as always.
Oh, you've been amazing. Are you kidding me? Like I'm not even kidding. This is why my journal goes everywhere, is because there's a lot that I've learned right now, and
Oh,
I just love talking about.
I know. Me too.
Right on.
No, you've done really well, Jordan. Keep it going.
Well, you guys have made it so much easier for me and have helped tremendously. I can't even say that enough. So thank you.
This has been a dream come true, really, to be honest. I'm just thinking back to that first phone call that you me and Gabe and Taylor had, and we were just like, boy, are we qualified to do this? And I was like, you know what? I just feel like this is possible. I really do. And
Yeah.
so it's been, I know we've all had some ups and downs together, but looking back, it's it all happened for a reason, you know.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it is, I mean, sometimes it feels like an experiment, like, okay, let's just try this out. And, but my verse this week that I've been reading is Galatians, oh my gosh, I'm not gonna be able to quote it, 6:2, which talks about sharing each other's burdens.
Let me grab it for you.
Yeah, thank you. It's Galatians 6:2.
All right, Galatians chapter 5, that's the fruits of the Spirit. Chapter 6, verse 2, carry one another's burdens. In this way you will fulfill the law of Christ.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I just, I feel like that's been a big thing for us is, I've had several times where I've been discouraged, and it's made it all the more easier and has helped me so much to have, you guys come alongside me and help me and encourage me and believe that the good can come from all of this, and that's what we're all meant to do. We're all meant to be in this together. We're all meant to do this health journey as a community. You're not meant to do it alone,
Yeah,
Absolutely.
100%. Let's do this again in like 2 or 3 months, then you're gonna be jacked and have freaking huge biceps and giant boots.
That's right, absolutely.
Yeah, looking forward to it. All right, well, I'll get these over to you. Thanks so much again for both of your time. It's like we all got spouses, we all got kids, we all got lives, and I just really appreciate both of you too for your time here. I learned a ton, and I'm inspired, I'm encouraged, and yeah, here's to no more caffeine.
That's right, let's do it.
All right.
Good luck tomorrow.
I'm gonna toast both of you with my water right now that totally has salt in it.
Oh, there you go. Cheers.
Cheers. All right, God bless you guys. Talk soon.
See you there, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye, Mark.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, thank you so much for joining us in this entire episode. If you found this helpful or entertaining, as always, please shoot this over to a friend. Thanks so much. God bless you. Catch you on the next episode.